This is Ryan Elliott for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Tonight we're joined by Johnny Nelson here in his home city, Sheffield. Johnny, must be nice to be home and having a bit of boxing to look forward to.
Boxing Social, hello. Welcome to Sheffield. It's nice to be here on home turf, so it is nice. Seeing a lot of familiar faces as well.
Let's talk about the main event then, Kid Galahad. We were just kind of speaking off camera. This kind of came full circle. He's now the headline act in Sheffield. Try and sum up for me, if you can, in the time you've known Kid Galahad, what it's been like to watch him grow and develop into the world champion we see now.
You know what, Kid Galahad's a proper gym rat, and he's probably one of the last of the originals that were connected to Brendan directly from Brendan and Dominic, now Dominic taking over. And Kid, he's a proper student. He loves the game, and even now, even after he boxed for the world defending title, he was in the gym the next morning. He's that kind of guy. He'll do that he'll do that Sunday morning. He's that kind of guy, and he's called an honest pro. There's not many of them about, and he's a proper honest pro.
In his world title winning performance against Jazza Dickens, it wasn't the Kid Galahad we saw against Josh Warrington. This was a nasty, spiteful performance. I spoke to Kid after. He's understandably very emotional, and I asked him, same thing I'll ask you, what do you think Brendan Ingle will make of the fighter we see before us today?
Brendan will be smiling. Brendan will be more than happy because what Barry's doing, he expresses everything that was taught to him, mentally, emotionally, physically, technically, and I think what Kid's doing is honouring Brendan's memory, and I love that. I love that because I know the kind of stuff what Brendan likes. I know what he's doing and how he's conducting himself inside the ring, and to me it's perfect.
How much do you think the scorecards tonight, the Josh Warrington fight, sort of flicked a switch in his head a bit and has sort of seen him adapt to the fighter we see now compared to then?
Well, he knows nobody's going to do him any favours, even now as champion, and nobody's going to do him any favours. He's a guy that you think, you know what, that's the last person I want to fight, with the Kid Galahad, but you've got to fight him now. He's a world champion, so he knows he's got to do everything to make sure he wins his fight. So he's not going to leave anything up to the judges. He's not going to leave anything up for favours from anybody. He's just going to get the job done. And that's what he's got to do. It's a lesson learned. I can remember Marvin Hagler had the same lesson learned when he boxed V20 Firma, and he thought, I'm never going to let that happen again.
Johnny, Kiko Martinez in front of him this weekend. I know a lot of opponents turned this fight down. That's what Eddie and Kid have both kind of said. Kiko's been around for such a long time. What can he offer this weekend?
Kiko's got experience, a lot more experience than Kid Galahad has, but Kiko will use every trick in the book. And you look at him, he's like a little tank, very wise, very smart. If that one thing you can't buy, borrow, pretend to have, and that's experience. And he's got loads of that in abundance. So this is no walkover, no walk in the park for Kid Galahad.
In terms of what could be after, Eddie keeps mentioning the Wood-Conlon winner potentially for him next year, but I think Kid Galahad really wants the Navarrete fight. Which one would you like to see?
I want to see Kid Galahad tidy up the division and be complete and overall champion. And whatever path that is, that's a path he should take, because that's something you can't forget or scrub out of history. That's something that that as a fighter, as a Brendan fighter, to me that's a massive accolade.
Someone I wanted to get your thoughts on that's on this bill as well. Chris Billum-Smith, European champion, defend the title. He's also world ranked 7 or above now in every governing body. Is this kind of a waiting game for him now? If Lawrence Okoli is going to go and do as he says he is and pick up all them belts, Chris could be in a great place if they eventually become scattered. It's
a great position. The roads are set for these two to cross paths again. And for Chris, for what he's done, good on him. Chris has put himself in the right position. He's done everything the traditional way. He's had his knocks, he's won, lost, and now he's on the right trajectory, because this will make him a fighter that really believes in his own ability.
Johnny, just a couple more away from this weekend. Brilliant fight announced yesterday, brilliant fight for British boxing. Chris Eubank Jr. and Liam Williams, someone you know very well. Can only be a good fight.
Good fight. And I know what Liam's like. Liam's a complete and utter nightmare. And he's a proper... His problem might be the heart and the fight and the fire he's got inside him. Might be his downfall. If Chris wants to fight fire with fire, that's the one kind of fire to fight. So Chris has got to box smart. He's got to box and try and bash, because if he tries to match fire for fire, Liam will be there all night. That's exactly what they do. He's strong, he's determined, He knows, and he's hungry. And so when you get in with someone that's hungry, strong, determined, and live, you know, any fight's a dangerous fight. But it's a good fight to look forward to on the 11th.
What do you made of the stylistic tweaks that Chris Eubank Jr. has been making under Roy Jones Jr.?
I think Chris and Roy is a perfect combination for Chris's development. I think Roy is probably the first coach that, as far as I see, that Chris respects, listens to, and you can see a difference in his development since that union. And it might take 3 or 4 fights down the line for them to fully understand and appreciate each other. He couldn't have done a better move. He couldn't have done a better move. All right, yes, thank you. He couldn't have done a better move.
Just a couple more, Johnny, because you are getting recognised and handshake by everybody, obviously, in your home city. The natural talk with this fight being announced, brilliant fight. There is a clash in schedule. Obviously, while not ideal for broadcasters, can only be a win for boxing fans.
Yeah, exactly. And then, listen, at the end of the day, I'm fortunate to be an ex-fighter, an ex-champion, working boxing broadcast, and I'm a fan. So at the end of the day, everybody benefits. It's the fans benefit because you've got that much choice. To me, what a great time to be a fighter and a fan, because now you're getting exactly what you wish for.
Brook-Khan, Johnny, I spoke to Kel a couple of days ago at the open workout, and out of nowhere he said to me, "Oh, sign my side of that fight. People can complain, they're still going to watch it, aren't they?"
They all can complain, and I've always said I've given up on the hope of that happening. I'm just surprised I've not heard much from Amir Khan, and again I'm just trying my hardest not to get giddy and excited about it, because until I'm hearing both fighters say, right, this is done, we have signed and sealed, we've not heard it, and so I'm just sitting back and I'm waiting. I hope it does happen, but I'm not going to get giddy and excited.
And last one for me, Canelo Alvarez, undisputed super middleweight champion, brilliant performance against Caleb Plant. Who's the best fight left out for him there?
You know what? He's tidied up the division. Would he step up to light heavyweight? Is it Bivol? Good fight, good exciting fight. But for Alvarez, I think each time he fights, that skill that he expresses is second to none. And so for that alone, you've got to think. I actually think against Plant, he's actually boxed better. He's actually boxed better and performed better. That wasn't his best performance, and still, he pulled out the win and pulled it out in the style he did. So as far as I'm concerned, I think he's the Don. I actually do. I think he's the Don.
Right, Johnny, thank you for your time. I'm going to let you go and enjoy yourself in your home city. Thank you so much for being a Boxing Social.